Hey folks, I am Kevin Ioli, and on Saturday, UFC 264 at T-Mobile Arena, folks, we got fans back in Las Vegas, and that is a big news story right there. But I am excited to say that the star of the show, the man in the main event, Dustin Poirier, who will be fighting Conor McGregor, a non-title 5-round fight, but I don't think you're worrying too much about titles, are you, Dustin?
Yeah, they'll when I'm in the position and everything happens, we'll get it done. But right now, I have my hands full on Saturday night. That's what I'm focused on.
I wrote in a betting column, I was talking about, you throw out the fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov, you're 7-0 in your last 7 fights. 5 of those 7 people are either were current or former UFC champions. It's an amazing way that you've come in a long time. What do you think was the key? I know you came into the sport as a highly touted prospect, but what was the key in your mind to getting you to the level where you're becoming arguably the most dominant fighter in the UFC over the last 5 years?
The key is doing what I was doing before, but not reading into things and caring too much about stuff that doesn't matter, things that I have no control of. I think that was a big key. Obviously, my daughter being born and just better balance in my day-to-day life with fighting has helped me a lot as well.
Is it sometimes like, I've heard other guys say that, balance and family have a thing. Is it because you sometimes put so much into it and you want to win so bad that you almost reduce your chances of winning?
Yeah, you just care so much, too much, about everything, about what people are saying, what media is writing, and at the end of the day, what I've realized is all that is noise. None of that matters. Only thing that matters is what I can control, and that's the preparation, my mindset going in, my body, how I'm feeling, just the things that come along with training camp, come along with evolving as a fighter. As long as I check all those boxes, that's all I can do. So I learned to not work myself up as much over things that don't really matter.
There was a really well done documentary about you and some other fighters that was maybe a decade ago now, I guess, called Fightville. And one of the things you said in that was interesting now, knowing where you sit today, you said, I never gave one thought to fame or making a lot of money. And here you are now, you're one of the more famous fighters in the world. You're one of the most highly ranked fighters in the world. And, you're making as much money as just about anybody there is doing this. So how do you deal with it now? Because, the old Marvin Hagler saying, it's hard to get up to run at 4 a.m. if you're sleeping on silk sheets. How do you deal with the success now and don't let that bother you? Say, let me sleep in today or whatever, and still have the old grind that you used to have.
Because I still value a dollar, and my work ethic hasn't changed. And well, we got to see how this pay-per-view does first. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
It's going to do well, though. Just the fact that you're going into a trilogy against one of the most notable fighters in the world, you got to feel like you got something set up pretty well there, don't you?
I hope so, man. I'm a provider. I'm a father and a husband, and I have big plans for the future with my foundation, with my life and my daughter's life. So I'm just trying to put us in a good spot. Luckily, I found something that I was able to invest myself into fully with fighting and turn into a career and be in these positions to help other people. I'm just grateful for where I'm at, so that's it. Just staying in touch with myself through all of this is the anchor there.
One of the things that people don't think about is the fine line between winning and losing at this level of sports. And, we see it in every sport, but in MMA, it's really so close. In the last fight, you knocked Conor out in the second round and everybody's, raving about the job you did. And you said in one of your post-fight comments, he hurt you in the first round and didn't realize how hurt you were. Do you remember the sequence and what did you do to kind of try to, you're buzzed in there and Conor's a big puncher. What did you do to kind of survive that? Was it just more than anything else?
Yeah, I'm a veteran right now in my career. I've had a lot of fights. I've had fights where I've been hurt in fights. I've had fights where everything went smoothly. And when something like that happens, I remember he hit me with 2 good shots in that fight, in that last fight that hurt me. But it's staying composed, being calculated, and kind of weathering storms here and there. Fighting isn't a fight until there's something to overcome. So I expect adversity every time my feet hit that canvas. I don't think it's going to be a smooth night. Any night, it's a fight, and that's what fighting is. So I'm just prepared for those type of things to happen. Hopefully, when they do happen, I can pull through and I can protect myself and do the things I need to do to stay in the fight. I trust in myself in those scenarios because I've been through it.
He's a good finisher. And so I want to ask you this, like when you guys fought the first time, I think it was UFC 178, right? And he hit you with the kick and you were obviously hurt and you kind of went backwards. It's clear to everybody that you're hurt. So is that part of the thing that you have to immediately, when he hurt you in the second fight, you have to be tough and not show it so that he can't pick it up? Because you think that if he can smell that you're hurt, that he's going to really pour it on.
Yeah, because I'm a finisher myself. So I know if I have a guy hurt, I'm going to go in full steam trying to finish him. But growing through fighting, back when I was younger and I got hurt or hit with a good shot, I felt like I needed to return the favor, hit you with a good shot or open up on you to get you off of me. But that's a double-edged sword. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a coin toss, and preservation is something I've learned over the years. It's just to step on the gas when I need to and pull back when I need to. And that's a fine balance I'm still trying to get down, because I'm a fighter. So when guys hurt me, I want to hurt them back. It's a constant mental war in there, dealing with those things.
I want to change the subject to ask you why you took this fight, because here's the interesting thing. Dana White calls me to tell me that he's going to put together Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler for, what was it, UFC 259 or 260, I guess it was. And whatever show it was, I can't remember the number, but whatever show it was, he's putting that together for the title fight. And my first question to Dana was, where's Dustin Poirier? Right? You got a championship fight and Dustin Poirier is not in it. At that time, he did not want to answer the question. So I'll ask it to you now, because I want to hear from you. Why weren't you in that championship fight, and why are you fighting this fight instead?
Because I chose, I had an option to choose to fight Charles Oliveira or Conor McGregor, and it just made more sense to me and my family to fight Conor again, close this trilogy out. And then if I'm really the best in the world, the title fight will still be there.
Right. So it basically comes down to you believing in you more than anything else. Because if you didn't believe in you, you take the title fight. Now I got the title, I'll fight Conor anyways. Right?
Well, if Conor would have went on another streak or won a few to put himself back in title contention, yeah, but that wasn't the exact roadmap. If right. That other fight would have happened, there's a lot of things at play and a lot of things that have to happen for these big fights to line up. Understood.
Dustin, do you expect him to pretty much fight you the same way, or do you think you'll see wrinkles out of him? I think most people would agree you're the more diverse fighter, right? You have more options in the cage. Do you think, at this stage of his fighting career, he's going to be able to add anything and fight you in a different style than he has in the first two times?
Well, the first two times were completely different styles from him. I think he's a pretty well-rounded mixed martial artist, so he can do it all. The second fight, he was a little bit more heavy-footed boxing. The first fight, he was a little bit more
kicking,
elusive and kicking and range, fought at range. This last fight, he kind of fought me in the pocket. So we'll see. We know he has the ability to fight both ways. So it'll be interesting. Those are questions that we won't know until we start to the bell rings, I guess.
Is that something, are you a fighter that's better reacting or dictating? Like, like when you go in there, you say, well, let me see what he does and then I'll figure my plan out, or do you kind of try to dictate it?
I do like to be in the driver's seat, of course, getting into a rhythm, but that's not guaranteed every fight. It's I like both. I feel like I get a guy's timing when he starts opening up with offense and I'm seeing things and getting a rhythm of what he's going to do. That helps me as well. But on the opposite side of that, like we just said, when I'm walking forward and landing shots and feigning and making you react, I feel comfortable there too. So it just depends. A little bit of both, make him miss, make him pay, or if I'm in the driver's seat, make him, put his back on the fence and put the pressure on. It really wears you down.
I want to ask you this. I remember talking to Sugar Ray Leonard about his fight with Marvin Hagler, right? And he said in there, even though everybody was worried about me and the people that love me were worried for my health and my safety, he said, I felt invincible in there. Given the success that you have now, do you feel invincible when you're in the cage?
No, not at all. I wish I did. I have a healthy understanding of the dangers that these guys, especially these guys that I'm fighting in the last 10 fights, they're the best in the world. One mistake can be detrimental. So I just know that, I know that I'm a human being and if I make a mistake and get hit with a good shot, or if I'm put in a bad position, submission wise, that I can be finished. I know that. So I have a healthy fear for those things.
That's always a good thing to do. Well, you mentioned I'm a human being, and you're quite the human being, and you do a lot for charitable works. And so I would be remiss if I didn't mention that you're going to be teaming up with some fairly well-known people groups. Your Good Fight Foundation always has a charity that it supports at each show. What's going on for UFC 264?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how long the streak's been, but with the charity, with the Good Fight Foundation, what I do is auction off. We take donations in the lead up to the fight and everything like that when we set goals. But after the fight, I auction off everything I wear to the octagon that night to raise money for different causes. And this time we've teamed up with Manny Pacquiao, Justin Rin, Fight for the Forgotten, to circle back, to go back to Uganda for the lead up for the Khabib fight. We built water wells there and bought land for the Pygmy people. And now we're teaming back up. Three foundations are joining together to go back and build housing on the land that we bought during the Khabib fight. So it's exciting, man. It's an honor to be part of that, and it's a cool story. Three fighters starting nonprofits and coming together to do big things and change people's lives. I'm just proud of things like this, man, and opportunities to team up with such great people.
Yeah, I wrote a story for people who want to know about on Justin Ren's the Pygmy situation in Africa. I wrote a story on that a couple of years ago. So if you search for Justin Ren and Pygmy on Yahoo Sports, you'll find that. And he's doing fantastic work and just a great guy. And of course, Manny Pacquiao is known around the world for his I can't even speak now, philanthropy. So you're joining up with some good people. Dustin, I appreciate you, brother, and I wish you the best of luck on Saturday night at UFC 264.
Thank you so much, man. Enjoy the show.